So let's do some creative works with channels. The basic aspect that I covered for you is to just like with selecting one area and adding the bucket tool, you can like do something with channels. And so right now, let's say, for example, I choose the red channel. And at this point, I am not going to like tell you like which channel I'm specifically targeting or which color that I'm trying to achieve. I'm just like showing you different techniques. But if you want to have a specific color to achieve, you need to again go back to the basic rules of the and the way that different color modes work and work in those. So one basic thing that you can do, for example, is like inverting a channel. It gives you like interesting result. Select all this area that I worked before, and on the red, if I do the command and I can invert the channel, or I can just go to the image adjustment, and it has the option for invert, which is command I. So it's up to you if you use the shortcut or if you use the command. Okay, so for example, if I do command I right now, what you can see is inverted the channel. Invert is one option that makes like interesting results for you. For example, if I go to the blue and I select another area, you can just like create shapes, and it's up to you, just like any kind of, for example, I create this oval shape, and from the blue I do the command I and I invert it, and this is like different result that I can get. So this is one way to work with invert. The other one is work with gradient. Again, you can just like select some area, or you can select the whole thing. For example, if I go and choose the gradient tool, and right now, if I don't select anything, it's gonna apply it for the whole document, for the whole image, but on the blue channel. And if I start working with a gradient, this is the look that I can get from the blue channel, okay, by adding the gradient. Also, if you use the gradient tool, it gives you the option to work with different gradients. And when you work in the color channel, I want you to know, don't work with different colors, just work with the shade of gray or black and white. So for example, here, like when I choose like different gradients, I need to make sure that I don't choose like the color gradients, okay? Just like choose the one which is black and white. And I can have different type of gradients, different shapes. For example, this is the circular one. And this is the result that I get by choosing it for the blue layer. For example, if I go and like do it on the red, I will get different results. Okay, this is one way to work with gradients. Also, transform option is an interesting command that you can work with. You can do it with the whole document, or you can select an area. For example, this area that I was working, and with command T, I can add the transform. So I can just like scale it, rotate it, I can just like work with it. And as you can see, if I move it and scale it up, I am adding like some effects by working on transform command. I told you about the selection, fill or gradient, transform, working with brush, invert. Also, smudge tool gives a really interesting result for some parts. For example, if I go back here and I choose red and I go and choose the smudge tool, turn on everything. And as you can see, I can just like work with the smudge tool and like get interesting results. Right now I'm working on the red. For example, if I go back to the blue, on this area, for example, I don't want to be affected. I go to the brush tool Right now I'm removing. So the last thing that I want to show you is how to copy one part of another image and like bring it to the image that you have. For example, here, I'm gonna go and like again select, I go to the layer, make sure it is only one layer, and I select, not select from the quick selection, I select the subject, and this is what I want to have. I go to the channel and right now, so I can choose like, for example, blue, turn on everything, and I can copy with Command C, or I can just like drag it. Let's not do that. Command C, and I come here. Right now, if you can see, like I have this one in the green, and I can with Command T makes it bigger. So if you're working in RGB mode and you decide to change it to, for example, CMYK and like have other channels or layers to work, it is possible. You need to make sure your file is being saved with RGB so far like this, and then you're gonna continue working in CMYK after this. For example, if I go and choose from the image mode CMYK right now, it gives me warning. When I press OK, and as you can see, like the colors are changing a little bit because I told you in CMYK mode, colors are less saturated. So you need to know if you choose CMYK, the color scheme like is a little bit different than RGB. So right now, for example, I am working with cyan, magenta, and yellow, and black. Let's see, for example, I choose magenta and I go back to gradient and I start working with gradient. So you can just like drag your mouse and then you release it and it gives you specific gradient. So in this case, my gradient is just like from the white color to semi-transparent white color. I don't work with black color right now in the gradient. So for example, if I go and like choose filters and let's see, let's apply it for just like part of the image. So I'm gonna like choose the area that I was working and I go to filter. For example, I can work with sharp, with blur, and it gives interesting result too. For example, if I choose like radial blur, and then if I just apply it, as you can see, like it just blur the magenta layer for me. And for example, I just like create another rectangle and I go to filter, choose the filter. Again, I choose halftone right now on the channel 1, I just make it 500. And the radius for the pixel, okay, doesn't give me the option, maybe, okay, I make it 200. And for the pixel radius, I make it like 20. And this is the result that I get working with cyan. You can also create a text. So you need to make all changes to your text. And when you hit enter, you rasterize your text and it is not editable after that. So make sure that you make changes before you finalize it. For example, I make it 100, let's make it 200. Now I'm happy with this one. So I have the font rasterized here and I can just like go to any channel and like For example, I am gonna like fill it with black color. On the yellow channel, and this is the result that I get. So this is pretty much everything that I wanted to cover for this activity. I just want you to know that your skill test, your Photoshop skill test is gonna be mainly about working with Photoshop channels. I want you to do creative works in a time frame of 1 hour with color channels, and I want you to use different techniques and also work with different aspects of the Photoshop, like select something, remove some part, copy, paste it, move it, just like combine different images together. Something similar to what I did, achieve different result that you want.